And this is Kieran here, and well, this is kind of a little bit of a different um, thing that I'm doing. So I have here something that is completely in development, and obviously not with the best of graphics and everything. But this is what I've been partially working on over the past couple of months. And I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of show. It's part of a 3-stage project I'm going through, this being the first. And the end goal is to get to the one game that I have planned on for a long time. But this is to work out some of the kinks with some of the systems and see that all of them will work the way that I want them to. So I'm going through each process step by step. Now, it's going to start out 2D is the first stage, and to give me, really there's only one system that I'm testing in this thing. The second stage is going to be a 3D game, which is going to develop the system that is in this more and kind of add on to some of the other systems and make them to what they need to be for the final one, which is going to be a 3D MMO. Which the only difference in there is it's going to add a whole bunch of systems that are specific to an MMO. Now, that being said, each of these games are going to be full games, hopefully in the end. I'm not sure about the 2D one, but the first 3D one I do have plans for. Now, right now, there isn't actually much. These squares, there are actually 2 of them. It's kind of quite obvious. They're not like super spectacular drawings. I was just derped around to get a couple of textures. They are to do a tile-based map system because I'm going to be playing around with that. That really has nothing to do with how the 3D games will work, but it is part of what I need to make a 2D game. And I'm thinking about doing some random generation and things just to have a little bit of fun with this. Now, so the other thing is what really is kind of unique about this game, and this is something that I'm putting here to show, and I'm not showing any of my code behind this because it isn't exactly simple. I want to try and optimize it a little bit, but I haven't gotten it exactly yet. Now, the mouse is completely free to move around, and it's going to be free to move around basically always. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to deal with this in the 3D game. I may just, when you go into a specific mode, it'll let go of the mouse, and the mouse will be roaming different from the actual camera, and you may not be able to move the camera really. But you click this, and all this is right now is a kind of purple overlay. It will be changed later to do some more things, to show more things. In the 3D version, it will actually be 3D meshes that will be showing up, but this is just a very basic. Now, the basic point is you can put these little dots around now. Alone, the dots aren't really very important, and you can connect them with these lines, which really, not really all that important, just one connection. The more important feature is actually setting them up to make a shape. Now, that was also extremely time consuming. You can actually hold control and build the shapes a lot faster. And as you can tell, it shows which shape is currently active. Now, this really whole part, though it was kind of annoying to track the mouse and everything, this isn't hard by programming standards. No, the actual thing that makes this interesting is this is going to be the shape for the fire spells, because this is all the magic system that's going to be implemented into these games. And it can actually tell that, because all triangles are just considered fire, it can tell that this is a triangle so that it is fire. But if you get to the more complex shapes, I can't actually think of one specific one that uses, well, I can, but it's one that I don't want to show here. But this has 2 triangles. Now, if this were a specific shape, one that was defined as some other spell, it would not consider it either triangle. Now, if the diamond, just the diamond shape and not the line between, was considered, a shape, it would consider it actually two fire shapes and then the whatever the diamond spell is. And it doesn't, as obvious, it doesn't actually update this every frame, because otherwise that would cause massive amounts of lag. What it instead does is when you press, right now it's bound to C, and why it disappeared is it's bound to C and it will just cast the spell. You can, if you click on a point, I don't have connections in, you can remove points by right-clicking on them. You can also track entities right now, the only entity being on screen, the player, and you can make shapes that way. And I don't know what's with the jitter. The jitter only happens when you're combining shapes. Each point is considered its own shape at first, and it combines with others as you make connections. But if you middle mouse button, so this is a 3-button mouse game right now, if you middle mouse button on a point in a shape, it deletes that shape. Now, if you have a shape and you right click on it, just deselects the shape. If you middle mouse button in the middle, it just deletes everything that you own, which right now isn't technically right because it doesn't have ownership. It just right now deletes everything. So this is what I've been working on, and that's kind of really bright compared to the purpled out zone. The mouse is drawn actually on top of everything, not considered an entity or anything like that. It's just a thing. But I wanted to show you guys this. I really would ask that if anyone's actually there watching this that is a programmer, please do not actually use the system right now. It's meant for what I'm working on, and I have a lot of other things that I plan on doing with it. Not to mention the system I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with. I want to use this system. It is kind of meant to be a system that makes things more derived on skill than just the way I've heard it actually recently, instead of a numbers game where you're just looking for the best spell. You're looking to do what spells you can do fast, and there's all kinds more systems to go into this. I'm thinking after working on this, maybe porting it over to like Minecraft or something, maybe as just a system, just so you can see it once. But that is a very much a maybe, and I'm not sure, and it'd be very difficult because it uses so many different systems and uses so much. Now, in a multiplayer setting, you will be able to get rid of points off yourself that are tracked upon you. I haven't decided exactly how, but it will be possible. And technically, every character in these games will be able to use magic. Right now, all the magic is implemented, but there will be sword combat, melee or normal bow ranged. You can bow crossbows. I'm not sure about crossbows, just because I don't know how I feel about crossbows. Guns will not be implemented in any of these games. It's not part of the world. And I'm working on the storyline and all of it, and I'm actually really happy where the storyline's going right now. So this is part of what's going into becoming CDF. If you don't know what CDF is, it's Chronicles of Draconis Flos. Yes. It's actually just Latin for Chronicles of the Dragon Crown. Well, Draconis I don't actually think is dragon, but the word for dragon was really strange, and Draconis sounded cooler. But the reason it's still, I didn't just change it to English now, even though the other name kind of sounds a little funny, is otherwise, first of all, it would be acronym CDC, Center for Disease Control. Don't want that. And second of all, I've gotten used to calling it CDF. But that's what this is going to be for. There's going to be this game and another one in between, and then you'll see CDF come out. I don't plan on doing this really fast. I want to make it nice, want to make it spectacular. The reason it's starting out 2D instead of starting out 3D like I would like to do is because this is also going to be one of my portfolio pieces. So, now, aside from that, there is more important things to be talking about. Status update, and this is kind of important, and I kind of want to tell you about this. Next week, videos are going to resume like normal. That being said, 2 series that did exist are coming back. At least that's my plan, is 2 of them coming back. I also have a new series that I'm going to play for a little bit. I don't have openings for 2 of the series, one of the old ones and this brand new one. Now, the brand new one is actually going to only be a temporary series at this point, unless you guys like it more than that. I'm not sure where they're gonna fit. So there are 2 oddball series, and so I'm not telling you what the series are. I'm gonna leave that to a little bit of a surprise, but I'm not exactly sure the time slots that they're gonna take up. Now, there's one coming back that is kind of anticipated, and I'm thinking most of you may know what I'm talking about. Well, at least I'm anticipating it, and I've made a little bit of a hype around it. You know, always saying that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So, now you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But, anyways, so, 3 series that you haven't seen either in a while or at all. And then every other series is coming back, and also, and this is just the plan for right now, unless something happens where I can't get all my recording done, because right now I still have to do Borderlands and Assassin's Creed recording. But Dishonored, I am actually at just about the end of Dishonored. I have this bulk. I'm not done at the end of this bulk. I'm really close. So if you like that series, right now I'm thinking about maybe taking the brand new series or taking the old series and replacing it where Dishonored was. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to wait until Dishonored finishes. Dishonored's not going to finish probably for a couple months. But once that time slot frees, I may move them there. Otherwise, I may just start a new series and place it in that time slot. I talk a little bit more about this in the videos to come. It's usually in the first week, or I may just talk about it sporadically through the batch. The batch right now are being recorded kind of episodic. I stop every roughly 20 minutes. In Dishonored, I missed an episode. I did something, so I had something up covering my time, so I couldn't see how long I'd been recording for, so I missed an episode. So 2 episodes were just kind of me keep going. I just kept going in between them, so there wasn't a stopping. And okay, there's a little bit of lag there, and I'm not sure what just caused that. It may just be my computer, but anyways, so videos are coming back on their normal basis next week. Now, I'm not sure exactly. I may record some of me working on this, but it'd be live stream type recording, and those live streams would not be up afterwards. I would pretty much delete them. I'd just be me deving, and you get to see progress. Because the thing is the code is rather complex, and I don't just want someone taking it and using it as their own. And there are a lot of things, though, really you can't just use the code on its own, because it's got so many dependencies in other classes that I probably won't show. So I'm not too worried about people watching. It's just as a comment. And now I know people like open source stuff, and this game will not be open source at all. And the reason is because of some of the things I'm doing. Like this system, I literally have never seen a system really like this. I've seen something relatively similar, but it was done on a DS and you were actually drawing. I've never seen this done on PC, and I've never seen the extent that I'm going to be doing with it. There's going to be a lot more to this system, and there's going to be all sorts of things being it's gonna, depending on spells, certain spells are gonna affect your character in certain ways. Some negative, some positive. Now, that comes with, a catch-22. Generally, the negative effects come with the more powerful spells, generally. But those spells will probably be easier to cast. Actually, they will be easier to cast. I'm throwing hints of things, but I'm not giving you full descriptions of them because I don't want to give away too much. Now, this all being said, I still plan on most of the systems that I have talked about. The quest packets, and if you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain it here. I think I explain it in some of the podcasts that I did with Roken, which, if you're wondering about stuff with Roken, other than the World of Warcraft stuff that we have pre-recorded, I do not have anything with him, and I will not have anything with him for a while. And the reason is because we used TeamSpeak and Gtalk, and we could use Skype, mind you. I know there are all sorts of other things out there, but we've tried. And his computer is refusing to work with any of them right now. I recently just told him he probably should try uninstalling and reinstalling them. But, so I really actually haven't talked to him in several months at this point. So, anyways, so that's what that is. This may become more of a status update thing instead of the trials, because I'll be showing you kind of the advancements as it goes along. Next thing I'm going to be working on actually is going to be some enemy AI, and it's not going to be super spectacular, awesome, best AI out there. It's just going to be at first some simple AI, and I want to slowly build up. And I want to do inventories and all sorts of things with this, but I'm not, again, going to show you this stuff until a little bit later because I want to work a little bit more on it. And so, plan is that next week everything's returning as normal. I also have a little bit of more Minecraft that I have. I have a bit of Minecraft saved up, and I know I really never wanted to do that, but because of time and things I have. Now, I also do apologize. There's some stuff that I didn't record that I probably should have. But also, aside from that, I may do another series just of me. I wanted to do an adventure map for a while, make one myself, and I may record that. I'm thinking about recording that. I'm going to do it in an interesting way because I'm not actually going to be playing creative. I'm going to use some of the mods to supplement the creative elements. So, basically, the important point of this message is this is what I've been doing with this whole character thing, and the actual character really all isn't that important other than it's an entity that I could latch onto, and I have some animations for him, which is important to show that I could do the animations, and that the animations are specific to certain events. Now, other than that, the other thing is that stuff is going to be returning next week, and you're going to see something new. Hopefully starting next week. I really hope it starts next week, the new. And also, July 7th, this Sunday, I plan on releasing something cool. I don't know what yet, but I want to. And the question probably most of you guys are asked is, why July 7th? Or if you're not asking that question, I'm answering it anyways. July 7th is actually my birthday. And not only is it my birthday, it's going to be my 18th birthday. And there were points where, if you've ever listened to the podcast, and I avoid saying things like that, and I may even say things that, completely contradict my age. And I did that on purpose. Sometimes I flat out lied about things because of that. Because I didn't want people to know. Because I was, at that point, younger. And considering I started podcasting with Roken actually back, it was either 2008 or 2009. So it was a long time ago. I was a lot younger, and so it also helped as a kind of, it didn't turn people away from our podcast because we were kids. And now, saying that, they probably should have left anyways. Some of the stuff that we did were kind of derpy and unknowledgeable. But we learned, and we've grown, and all kinds of stuff. So now, also, a fun fact that I'm going to mention right here, and you can actually see it with these things. These rotate. The characters can rotate too, and also points do disappear when you go out of that mode. And the reason that I have that mode on and off is when I want you working, is when you work on spells, you should be working on spells, but characters can rotate in this, and I may use that. I'm not sure. But that's beside the point. So, July 7th, though, be looking out for something, because I plan on putting something up. I really want to put something special up, and I'm not sure exactly what. But also, another big date's going to come up here probably really quickly for me. It's sometime in August, and I don't know exactly the date. I'm going to have to look it up. But we're actually hitting about the 1 year anniversary of this channel. Now, that being said, even though I've seen that this series is actually rather popular, the first series I put up was a Morrowind series, and it was using a free version of Fraps, so I often was missing footage because you have to hit record every 30 seconds, always, and I every so often forgot because it was hard. I also did all sorts of other things, but that being said, it is hitting about the time where I have hit a year, and I want to do something for that too, because it's going to be my 1 year anniversary. That being said, also certain series are going to hit their 1 year anniversary not long later, and I'm not going to really talk about the series that have died, which those series would be my Curian Plays series, because I played a whole bunch of games at that point, and I was just playing them to see what people liked. Which actually, Diablo 3 seemed very popular. Which I do plan on eventually hitting Diablo 3, but I want to play through Diablo 2 first, and I like Diablo 2 a lot better. But if you guys do want Diablo 3, I will think about doing it, maybe even sooner than finishing Diablo 2, because again, Dishonored is going up. But the two series that will be soon after my 1 year anniversary of the channel, their first year will be the Morrowind and the Minecraft, which the Minecraft has hit a second season, and the reason I decided to switch it to season 2 has nothing to do with like any events or like an episode number, because I planned on hitting episode 100. Now I know people like vanilla Minecraft, and there are a lot of people who really like it. I've seen recently, because Syndicate decided, at least the assumption is that he's decided to play Feed the Beast, just because of his episode 300, people are assuming, and I make the same assumption, but you never know, he may have meant something completely different. Now, he's played 300 some episodes, he's done 299 of vanilla Minecraft, and a lot of people liked that, and they wanted him to stay that. Though, especially for him, he'd hit a point where there's nothing more he could really do. He could go fight the Wither, yeah, but it's just one more boss battle, that's it. And I would assume he was looking for more. Now, for me, I've never really cared for the boss battles. I've never really cared for any of that in Minecraft. Minecraft, I like to build things, I like to make cool stuff. And the mods make things easier. And you can do different things. So that's why I decided to do the season 2, was because I wanted to add mods, and it really didn't seem right to still call it season 1. I could have also made a new world and done the mods, but I liked the world that I had, and it was easier to start because I had supplies. Now, I didn't have enough supplies, actually. I've done a whole bunch of mining off camera, and some things more than I should have, because I've not just done mining, I've built things. But they were because I needed them so I could continue to mine, So it was one of those things. It was, making mining faster by doing this. Did that off camera. Should have probably recorded it, but I didn't. But I've said, actually, in the last episode I recorded, I will not, unless I say specifically, like, at the end of that episode I said I needed to go mine to get some resources, but I wasn't going to, like, build anything off camera. So, unless I was, I think there was also something else I needed to build off camera. Like, it was just, something I built a couple times already, which we're only at episode 5, but I think I have, like, up to 12 recorded. So I've recorded a bit ahead of time. Now, that being said, for you guys who like Minecraft, I'm not updated to 1.6 yet. So, anyways, other than that, yeah, I think that pretty much ends this update. I hope this goes out today. It's Wednesday, and so I really just kind of wanted to give you kind of an update why nothing came out this week. And last week was kind of scarce. I've been kind of working back up. The reason I let everything spin down was because I was busy at the time. Since it's my 18th birthday, I'm assuming most of you can assume. I'm assuming that you can assume that this was the year that I graduated from high school, so I had graduation and open house and all kinds of stuff like that to deal with. So, yeah, so I've been just busy with all stuff like that, and some college problems and things like that, so, but this is part of why I've been doing this project. So, if you guys would like to hear a little bit more about this game and its development, I may make it a series, though it will probably be a monthly or bi-monthly series, only every other month. And the reason is to make significant amount of progress. And I kind of want to make it seem like those leap and bounds between development, because it lets me do some more. But also, at this point, I'm not actually working on this. I'm working on a website, which will be hopefully up for you guys. And the reason I've been driven to work on the website right now is website hosting is actually really cheap where I got my website, which is GoDaddy. And I know a lot of people have their opinions about GoDaddy and all that, but I know people who have used them in the past, and it works really nice. But I'm looking at getting a hosting account. I already have the domain through them, as most of you know. I have a website, dbtgaming.com, and I'm pushing to get the hosting soon so I can put up a website, but I need to finish my website. And the reason I'm not using like pre-built websites is because the mass amount of things that I want to put in it. I want to be able to have my portfolio up on there, which I'll let you guys see and look at, which it won't have source code. I'll have to hand give certain source code, or I may put it behind a password lock. And the reason is because I don't want to give people access to the source code, because it is rather difficult to get done. I've spent many hours just doing this, and it may not seem all that complex, but it was built from the ground up. This isn't DirectX though, this is XNA. I will be using DirectX hopefully in my final version, which shouldn't change this system that does the dots and everything. That system, actually, the only difference in the 3D version will be the third dimension, adding that to the shapes and things. Now, that being said, there will still be two-dimensional shapes. They'll just be weaker spells. Okay. Now, so that's all said. A website's hopefully coming soon. It's on sale for 50% off. So if you guys are looking for website hosting, you can get there. But I'm going to be making I'm right now in the process of making my website, making it how I want it. It's going to have all sorts of things. I'm going to have a group type system, but it's actually going to be guilds, because that more follows the gaming type archetype, and you can have allies in your guilds. And these guilds will I will probably use them to allow people to reserve guild names in-game when CDF comes out, so you can have your guilds, because I know how frustrating it could be if you've followed me for a while, you've supported its development, and you have your guild name, but you happen, at launch, you just can't manage, or you're there at launch, you just, you don't play enough as someone who spends, their entire life, they don't sleep, eat, drink, whatever, and they get the guild, and they've only been, following me for like a week before launch, and they just, get everything they need to get a guild, and then they get a guild, and they steal your name, and you've been following me much longer. That is my plan, and name reserve, I don't really plan on doing, but names I'll probably do in a different way than normal, which will make really stealing names really hard. And then, though certain names will be obviously not allowed, and I probably will not allow like penis, dick, things like that in your name. Now, Dick is actually one of those that's actually I won't, because Dick is actually a name. Because if you actually follow Batman, you have Dick Grayson, which was Robin. So, anyways, I've spent far too long talking about things, but basically, new series coming back, and I was obviously going over this, but a new series is coming back. A new series is coming. 2 old ones are coming back, with one of them having a real new twist to it. All the other series that are currently going are coming back. Dishonored's kind of reaching its ending point. This is what I've been working on, this game here, and a website may be coming soon. I really hope I can actually go out and buy that before it goes off sale. But I'm not in the position right now to spend the money. I'm just hoping soon before the sale ends. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And starting Monday, you'll get to see some Diablo 2 again, which has been off for quite some time. Also, annotations are being put back in videos. I've been working on doing that. Not completely done with it, not even close, but I'm working on it. So, see you guys next time.